Welcome back to Monday Mishnah. I'm excited you're here. It's Passover. That's why you find me in my kitchen. I'm doing my cleaning and my preparation. But I wanted to take a break, do some of our weekly Mishnah learning. We're in Masechet Brachot, Mishnah chapter 2, Mishnah 4, and in this Mishnah it describes what happens when the obligation to recite the Shema intersects with when you're at work. Right. So the Mishnah reads: workers or artisans who find themselves on top of trees or on top of stone walls, they are permitted to recite the Shema, just as they are not allowed to recite or do the Amidah, the standing silent personal prayer. And so it sets up an interesting juxtaposition there. So I think there are two major takeaways from this. First, that the rabbis understood that people go to work in all sorts of places. You know, that's true today. If you're a garbage collector, you might find yourself out early in the morning where that obligation to recite the Shema comes to you while you're at work, or a taxi driver. You might find yourself in an office and you're in transport on your way to work. When dawn arises, it depends on where you live and what your work. All sorts of kinds of things. The rabbis understood that. That doesn't mean our obligations are any less important. We just need to find a way to navigate them. The second thing is the rabbis who commented on this Mishnah, they said that the primary reason it's permitted with the Shema and not permitted with the Amidah is because the Shema requires a different level of intentionality. The Shema requires only that the first line, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, that line requires intentionality, and the rest doesn't. While the Amidah requires our full attention 100% of the time. Now, take what you will about that level of intentionality. What I think we can take away from this is that obligation, we find it everywhere, and we need to make a decision about what we're going to do. So if, for example, your obligation to do the Shema arises and you're at work or somewhere else, you can take a quiet moment, you can say the Shema, you can do what you need to do and get back to work. You don't have to start all the way over, right? So we'll find in a different Mishnah what that obligation looks like with the Amidah. But for the Shema, at least we know if I'm up at the top of a tree and I'm a logger, that I don't have to unstrap myself and go all the way down. I can stay strapped in, I can focus and do the Amidah. That might, if that's where the stone wall and the tree come in, maybe I'm at work and I just need to, take a moment sitting in my cubicle or my chair or my office or wherever it is that I am, and I can just be focused for that one moment that I need to and recite the rest by rote or by the book. I'm not suggesting that, but the rabbis understood that when we're at work, it doesn't matter, our obligations still exist. And so this is the question of the day. What barrier stops you from engaging in that kind of obligation? If you're at work, maybe you feel embarrassed, and it's hard to live this thing that feels so hard, so important to you in a place that's so public. Maybe you're a student, you go to public school. I was a student who wore my kippah in public school. It was very challenging to navigate that. So tell me what that experience is for you. So that's the question of the day. Let me know in the comments below. And a happy early Passover. And I'll see you next week on Monday.